Welcome to Ajatella, the show that transitions you from think to change. And we are on episode number 2, and we have brought back Jacqueline Kittony around. Welcome.
Hi.
Owning Your Madness was such a hit, and one of the things that we celebrate is the ability to have personal responsibility in your daily life. And one of the things we'll be pushing forward is the second part of that, owning your madness, but more of moving into progressive change. So the first thing that probably I would ask you is, how do you move into progressive change when you suffer from pessimism, or what is a place of optimism in progressive change?
I think, first of all, I just want to say thank you again for having me. I think it's always a great honor to be here.
Thank you.
And to continue with the conversation of optimism and taking the next steps after you have admitted that you could be a little bit crazy, but not really crazy. So as you've asked, in regards to what is the place of optimism in your life? And I think in the last episode, we spoke about being very, having a game plan and having a community around you that supports you. So when you now want to move to this next step, the mindset and how you start thinking about yourself, about your environment, and about your end game really matters. And that's where now optimism comes in, because if you're not positive in the way you think, in the way you react, in the place that you stay, then for sure you'll not even make a next step, because it'll be, oh, woe is me, I can't do this. So as a starting point, let's change our minds. Let's look at, what is it that I'm good at? What is it that I've done wrong that I can change? What is within my control? And if it is, how can I change it? If it's not within my control, who can be able to help me to change it? So optimism is really, really key for you to be able to get to the next level.
Wow. I think one of the things you've mentioned is asking for help, because I think that's something that we don't do much. We try and fight by ourselves. And, we'll take this conversation further in other episodes. But one of the things that is so critical is when you have to own your madness, sometimes someone has to help you. It could be a friend that calls you out. It could be a sister like mine who just says, now you're on the wrong track. You have to come back, So what is the place, and who can we call out when we want to move forward? We have accepted that, okay, my life is not where it should be, but who can help me around? Maybe someone is watching and they're a bit stuck. Do they go to friends? What happens?
I think society has really changed the way we look at life and the way we look at things, because points of weaknesses are seen as a bad thing, Yet at your weakness is where you're able to now discover your true potential and your true strength. So as a starting point, yes, you may have a community around you. It could be your friends, it could be your family, it could be even just a colleague at work or a business partner. But I believe that in our life engagements, we have certain people that we are drawn to. And sometimes those are the best people who you can tell them, I'm at this place and I'd like to move to this next place. Can you hold me accountable? And it doesn't even need to be 10 people that you tell, Sometimes when you tell a lot of people, you don't know who is for you, who is against you. So as you rise, you might find people are pulling you down. So I would encourage that you find that one person whom you are drawn to and you trust, who can hold you accountable for your next steps that you do.
You've mentioned something very important, that sometimes you have to pick your army. Anytime, let's say a country is going to war, and the army is being selected, or they're recruiting soldiers for the army, not just anybody. I don't know if we would make it. You have to have such high standards of health and fitness and maintenance. And that's the same criteria we can use, when choosing your army in life, that the people who are around you should be people who make the highest standards of excellence and fitness mentally, and will physically be there for you. So I think I love that, and I've picked that. And probably we can talk about sustaining positive change. It's very easy for people to initiate change. Maybe they were excited on your madness show, and they were like, okay, I want to own my madness. I want to, move to the next level. But so many people begin and don't sustain the change. So moving forward from our previous episode, how can someone sustain change? I want to change my career. I want to change where I live physically. I want to change the kind of car I drive. Whatever change, I want to change my weight. You know, I want to add or lose weight. How does someone sustain progressive change?
You know, I think when it comes to change, we have to admit that everyone is prone to making a mistake, you know. We fall, we rise, but the difference is, you know, getting up and actually continuing with that journey. So in regards to sustaining change, it comes back to your accountability partners. And it starts with also being accountable yourself, because before I become, I open up to someone to stand by me and by what I say, I also have to have that discipline to take forward what I want. So first of all, discipline comes in. So discipline will be key in sustaining that change, because the more you do something, the more it becomes part of you and the more it's easier to carry it out. The second thing is the accountability system or the accountability partners that you can choose. You know, that one person, is it someone who can call you out and you listen and you believe? If it is, then well and good. If not, then that's not the right person. You need someone whom you trust and someone whom you can listen to. So you really have to select your accountability partners or your systems, you know, very, very well. So accountability partners, very key. Discipline, extremely key. And also to give yourself, you know, cut yourself some slack. Sometimes you can fall, you know, but once you fall, you have to remember that you have to get up and you have to move forward. So just be yourself, take that change that you want to take and look at the end game. What is my end game? Where do I want to get from there? So once you have accepted that you want to make the change, now continue with it. Have that discipline to follow through and make sure you have someone who can, you know, beat you once in a while and say, hey, you're losing direction. Let's get back to the way we wanted to go.
Yeah. And, you know, when you mentioned discipline, it's such a heavy word because when you think about disciplining, it takes us back to primary school, you know, when you do something wrong, you're disciplined. But self-discipline is so critical. And I've realized that the more we go through life, the distinction in life is made through some key factors, and discipline is one of them. That automatically, if you want to progress in life, you have to be disciplined, and especially self-discipline, where I don't have to come and shake you. I only come and support you to move to the next level. And probably when someone is watching us and they think, oh, I really want to do this, I really want to lose the weight, I really want to change career. But maybe the question could be, how self-disciplined are you to keep at it, even when, as you said, you fall? You know, even when you apply and they don't pick you, even when you start the business and it doesn't work, how disciplined are you to keep at it? So it leads to a word called consistency, you know, and we'll talk about it in other episodes. But what is the benefit of consistency? You know, maybe even in your life and in the marketplace, what is the benefit of being consistent in what you do?
When you're consistent, then your personality comes out, then your character comes out, and character is what sells you, you know. Character is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Who are you? And that comes out through consistency. So the more consistent you are, the better you are as a person, and the more you're able to stand firm and say, you know, this is me and this is who I stand for. So when it comes to now changing yourself, you have to really be very consistent. And consistency means that every day you pick up and you move on. How bad do you want your dream? How bad do you want your ambition? So that desire to get that ambition should drive you to being consistent in the way you do your things.
You know, I love what you've said. How bad do you want it? Because it is that drive that will get you up in the morning. You know, it's that drive that will make you feel, as much as I'm not where I should be, I want it bad enough that I will wake up. I will, even though I'm discouraged, I will look for another way. I will re-strategize. You know, that business didn't work, but I will go for it again. So that's how bad I want it. Because so many people, I feel like, are at the place of wishing where we all want positive change. You know, if you were at a seminar and ask how many people want positive change, you know, we'll all raise, you know, we're raising our hands up. But how many people will fight for it. We'll work at it consistently. And character is what sells you. That's one thing you've just mentioned. So how many people will work on their character until they get to where they're going? And even as we begin to wind up, one of the things that I take away from this discussion is that it's a personal decision, but you are allowed to have people in your army to help you, but you also have to be disciplined and consistent. So even if you're watching us at home and you're wondering, I really want better for my life, I really want to grow, I really want to own my madness and then move from that to progressive change, but I'm a bit stuck. Be disciplined, be consistent, and have people around you to push you forward. That would be my parting shot. What is yours?
So for me, my parting shot is create that habit of doing something different every day, and that is what will drive you to getting your end result. And always remember the end game. What is the big picture you're working towards, and how bad do you want it? So the moment you understand where you want to go and take that step every day to make that change, for sure, success will be at your doorstep.
That's great. Thank you so much. We can talk for so long, but some of the conversations that we're having will take forward, and some of them are part of the book Secrets of the Race. I think she has her copy. Yay. So chapter 1 is on principle of character, some of the things we're discussing. So there's a number at the bottom of the screen. You can get it there. You can also get it on Amazon. Thank you so much for watching Ajatella from Think to Change.